On behalf of the event planning committee this year, I proudly welcome you to this historic event. Thank you. 2 years ago, the March to End Rape Culture grew from a decision to make our city's slut walk more inclusive and diverse. We would like to thank the original organizers that brought the event to Philadelphia. The march seeks to bring communities together and raise awareness about the inequities born of rape culture, wherein sexual violence is seen as normal, unquestioned, and acceptable. Assault and abuse, sexist media and messaging, transphobia, homophobia, the silencing of survivors, and so many more ills are part of what creates such a reality. Together, we stand against every aspect of it. Rebranding the March to End Rape Culture has given us the opportunity to partner with several amazing sponsors and organizations. Thank you for those groups who have shown their support, and many of whom are here today. Please check out their tables. Now, can we hear for them? Thank you, sponsors! Thank you! The March to End Rape Culture Planning Committee would also like to thank our long list of speakers. Please stick around after the march to hear additional words, live music, poetry, and a dance performance. We would also like to thank the many people who have donated, helped to raise money for this event, and who have volunteered to make their time possible, and especially brand new volunteers that just jumped on the scene today, so thank you. And a special acknowledgement to Christy Eastburn, whose diligence and patience have been a key in forming the planning committee, making this event possible, and bringing diverse individuals throughout the region together. Thank you, Christy. The March to End Rape Culture is a safe space, free from judgment and inclusive of all genders, sexual orientations, abilities, ages, races, backgrounds, and so on. Please be considerate of all identities and expressions at this event. Shaming and discrimination will not be tolerated. Therapists are on site at the Counseling Corner. Anyone who is triggered during the event or would like to learn more about counseling may attend. It's open to anyone. All genders are invited to seek support. Lastly, all speeches will be interpreted in American Sign Language. Thank you very much. If there's an emergency, please find a planning committee member or volunteer. We are dressed in red shirts. Yes? Any of the red shirts? Red shirts. Also, you can pick up your own shirt. Yeah. One of the police officers who's in attendance today for safety protocol is also available in case anyone has an emergency. Please be careful, stay warm. If at any point you are starting to feel sick, you can come back and join us during the rally if you can't make it through the whole march. Over the course of the event, please look out for one another, build each other up, and proudly stand beside the other beautiful people that are here. And now let us take a moment of silence for lives lost, and those who have struggled and survived, including the victims of domestic abuse, sexual assault, and all other forms of violence that oppress and deny us the freedom to simply live. Thank you. I would like to ask the volunteers who have organized this event to come to the stage. Amanda? Uh-oh. Do we have someone on behalf of... Oh, yes. Please come up.
Oh, she's in trouble when I find her. Take Back the Night is the sister organization of the March to End Rape Culture. We are a community-based rally, march, and speak out. A lot of Take Back the Nights are college-based. We include the community. We support people who suffer from domestic violence, sexual assault, addiction. We basically support everyone. So we want to thank the March to End Rape Culture for being our sister organization and helping us out. Please join us April 26th. Stop at our table for our Save the Dates. You can access our website. You can volunteer. We're always looking for people to help us out. So thank you to the organizers of the march for giving us the opportunity to continue our speak out and our rallies. Thank you.
On behalf of the March to End Rape Culture, this annual event, as she just said, takes place in April, and we are so blown away and we feel so supported by it that we are giving a $300 donation. So again, thank you, Take Back the Night! Today we rip the fabric pulled over our eyes. Today we reach out and hold another hand in our own. Today we raise our collective voice and we demand to be heard. Rape culture is not a woman's problem. It's not a man's problem. It's not a made-up problem. It is a global problem and a public health concern for everyone. We can rally, we can react, and we can absolutely reimagine a world that's worth fighting for, because each of you is worth fighting for. Today we march. We march to end rape culture. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dara. Lakeisha Anthony is a woman on the move who wears many hats. She's passionate about changing the world in her generation through education, awareness of sexual violence, as well as other issues that plague our world. Lakeisha is the CEO and founder of Voice, Victory Over Inconceivably Cowardly Experiences, a sexual abuse survivors network, an educator at Alliance for Progress Charter School, co-director of Mothers in Charge, 1,000 Women for 1,000 Girls Mentoring Program, and a volunteer for War's Education Department, as well as youth ministry leader at Catalyst for Change Church. She is a big voice in a small package who is making some major noise in the region. Please welcome Lakeisha.
When I think of sexual violence, this one quote comes to mind. There's no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you. Many of us know that burden all too well, or we sat close enough to witness someone we love or care about bear that agony. The weight of it is one I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy. The pain of it all. Not wanting to bear that story. Not wanting to tell anybody what happened due to shame, due to feeling the pain, and wanting to just crawl away into a hole somewhere. While we stand here today, we stand in solidarity to shift the weight of that pain and to stand up against the injustices that for many of us have sadly become a part of our story. We come together today unashamed and unapologetic about what we've been through and about where we're going. Today, we say shame on rape culture. We release that shame from us and put it on rape culture. Shame on you who continue to allow rape culture to go on. Today we stand in solidarity that we will not allow rape culture to go on any longer. We will not allow anyone to bear a story alone. That we will stand together and fight against it. So I say stand with your neighbor, hold their hand high, lift them up, encourage them, and let them know that they too can find their voice. I found mine, and you can too. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce Destiny Kubler, who's here to read one of her poems. She's 17 years old from South Jersey. She describes herself as an aspiring poet, a passionate feminist, and a human rights advocate. Welcome, Destiny.
When I tell people that I am a feminist, they automatically make the assumption that I must hate men. But being a feminist doesn't make me hate men, it just made me realize I didn't have to take their shit. Before anyone starts with a not all men speech, let me say this. I understand that not all men go around raping, groping, and catcalling, but too many of them do. Too many men have made me feel uncomfortable in my own body, have made me apologize for my very existence because it's inconvenient for them. I had to stop joking and laughing with male friends because too many took it as me flirting. I had to stop wearing my favorite dress because it was deemed too short and sent the wrong message. I had to stop being friends with men because if I refused to put out, I'm told that I wasted their time only to friend zone them. Not all men made me change the way I lived my life to cater to them, but enough of them made me feel like there wasn't a choice. And if there was, it wasn't mine to make. Not all men are a threat, I know this, but too many of the men I've known have been. It's like how I know not all dogs are aggressive, but being attacked by that one stray made me fear them all. Men are the cause of the fear festering inside of me when my eyes meet theirs. It curls its way from my stomach to around my throat, choking me into compliant silence, telling me to keep my head down, to not return the smile he flashed at me. My body refuses to believe kindness is the only thing hiding behind his teeth. I have stared into the face of wolves who have filed down their fangs to blend in, only to have the meat ripped off my bones and spit out. In the blink of an eye, I was transformed in just another bloody hunk of meat, something to be devoured, and the parts deemed scraps left behind to rot. Not all men have ill intentions hiding behind masks of innocence, but too many of the men I have encountered have. It has left me to flinch away from hands that find their way onto my body, mindful of the memories where their touch wasn't so gentle and left blistering burns and the smell of smoke in their wake. Too many times has my permission been assumed. These men, they believe they are the ones who own my body, so why should they ask before taking what is theirs? And this is why I'm a feminist. Not because I hate men, but because I hate being afraid of them.
Helen Nellie Fitzpatrick has served for 6.5 years as the Assistant District Attorney for the City of Philadelphia. She spent the majority of her career as a prosecutor in the Family Violence and Sexual Assault Unit, prosecuting rape, intimate partner violence, sexual assault, and child abuse. This year, Nellie began serving as the second Director of LGBT Affairs for the City of Philadelphia. In this role, she works to further develop deep and meaningful relationships with a diverse representation of our LGBT community and allies throughout the city. Through forging relationships built on trust, transparency, service, Nellie will be able to serve the LGBT community members who not only share being diverse in gender identity, and or gender expression and sexual expression, but in race, national origin, disability, socioeconomic status, age, and religion. Upon joining Mayor Nutter's administration, Nellie was also appointed to the Board of Trustees for the Philadelphia prison system. Moving forward, Nellie hopes to finish out Mayor Nutter's administration through institutionalizing the positive changes made and usher in a new administration that will continue to organize, grow, build community, fight for those who are marginalized and or stigmatized, foster safety, demand accountability, push for equality, and create a better world for everyone. Welcome, Nellie.
Good afternoon, everybody. It was a complete honor to serve for 6.5 years as a prosecutor in this city, championing survivors of sexual assault, of rape, of intimate and sexual violence. Now that I'm over across the street in City Hall, one of the things that I know is so incredibly important is that I have a responsibility and a duty to help break down the culture that put this horrible onus on the individuals that experienced this type of violence that I used to have to champion right across the street in the Criminal Justice Center. Part of what we're doing, and one of the things that happened just this past week, is a bill was introduced by the administration through Councilman Squilla. That bill will require that every single occupancy bathroom in the city of Philadelphia bear a gender-neutral sign. And why is that important, you must ask? This crowd knows why this is important. It's time that we stop policing people. We take away the ability of people to hurt individuals for who they are. I shared the story of Chrissy Pullis with City Council last week, the 22-year-old transgender woman who was simply trying to use a restroom in a suburb of Baltimore. She walked into that McDonald's bathroom and was spit on and brutally attacked by two females. Those two women beat her. Over the course of 4 minutes, they kicked her, they punched her as she laid in the ground, covering her face in the fetal position. Onlookers, including employees of that McDonald's, didn't intervene, they didn't call for help, they didn't stop the attack, they took out their phones, they videotaped it, and they laughed. This happened to Chrissy because how these people perceived her. Because she wasn't good enough to simply do what every single person here does every day, go to the bathroom. The end of the video, which went viral, the video of this attack went viral. At the end of the video, you see her laying on the ground next to a trash can, convulsing and bleeding from the mouth, as the person taking the video encourages everybody to run before the police arrive. Chrissy said afterwards to the media that she never would have told anybody what happened to her, that the shame of what happened to her would prevent her from ever stepping forward. That video forced her into the spotlight. That video forced this issue into the spotlight as well. So for all of the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of other people who, when they were victimized, it wasn't recorded, this bill will help break down society's horrible, horrible opportunity of victimizing people. The bill will be read for the first time next week and will hopefully be passed before the end of the month. I look forward to celebrating that with everybody when it does happen. It's important that we understand and share the importance of that bill with everybody. It is also important to recognize that violence happens all throughout our country in places other than just bathrooms because of how people are perceived. Here in Philadelphia alone, we have had far too many individuals attacked because of who they are, because of how they are perceived. People are murdered and brutally beaten because they're trans, because of how they're dressing. That is the type of rape culture that we need to break down, that we need to break down. I heard you, sir. We all did. Violence against the LGBT community as a whole builds rape culture. I want to share with you a statistic that I learned 2 weeks ago at a policy briefing in Washington, D.C. It's something that you can find and read on the National Intimate Partners Sexual Violence Survey. It says that 17%, there's a 17% chance of a heterosexual woman being raped in her lifetime. There is a 13% chance of a lesbian identified woman being raped in her lifetime. There is a 46% chance of a bisexual identified woman being raped in her lifetime. 46%. And what follows that is there is not a single dedicated service provider to the bisexual community for survivors of that type of violence. That's something that everybody here can start putting their heads together and start working towards. I commend you all for being here. This is a fantastic and necessary thing. This march, it should happen every day. Every day that you walk out of your front door, you're marching to end rape culture. Every day that I walk into City Hall, I'm marching to end rape culture. I am so proud of everybody that's here. I'm so proud of you who are brave enough to not have jackets on. I don't know how you're doing it. I'm going to keep my clothes on because I'm freezing, but maybe next year. Thank you for having me. Have a great march, and you all are wonderful.
Okay. One thing I want to mention for the next speaker is that we have a ton of water up here that we brought for free because it was so hot last year. So really glad we have that this year, but it's free. It's here for everyone. It's up at the front. Okay. Our next speaker, Zara Michelle Davis. Zara Michelle Davis is a spoken word artist, singer, painter, teacher, aspiring social psychologist, and art therapist. Her name derives from Zara, meaning flowering in both Swahili and Arabic, and from Bel, meaning beautiful in French. Zara is a descendant of the Fulani tribe with roots in Ethiopia, Liberia, and Mali. The Fulani people speak many languages, including Arabic, Swahili, and post-colonial French. Zara's work is created in an effort to rebel against the obstacles of life as a black woman by finding beauty, Bel, in all of its struggles and conveying them through the mediums of paint, song, and poetry. Zara Bel, or Zahra Bel, is a womanist who believes in the equality of black women and their right to be seen as feminine beings who are no less susceptible to the crimes against women than the majority. She does not consider herself Afrocentric, rather a student of the African diaspora to gain a better understanding of her own being. Zahra Bel uses her poetry to expose and express the lasting psychological effects that violence has had on herself and other women. She's here today to share a poem.
I procrastinated in writing this poem. I procrastinated in writing this because I can't stand it. Branded, victim or survivor. Survived him, survived her, survived what? I don't want it. Wish I could go back to the moment, escape it. I cry because I hate it. Left to die, to bleed, I'm jaded. Sex will never be any less than some strange, discombobulated feeling. A scab, a wound incapable of healing. I want out. Get his semen out my mouth. His grunts out of my ears. Someone else cry these tears. Take this body, it's incomplete. My soul has become missing. I wonder if anyone is listening. I can't take it. Take this life. I was told a man could not rape his wife. Date rape or not rape if a woman is out past 9. Black women are too strong to be victimized. Lie! This is for the woman who's raped by her husband when she goes home at night. This is for the woman who's been invited to go bowling at the stroke of midnight. This is for black girls who've been raped since slavery. This is for the little girl who's been raped since she was 5. This is for the constant fear, the pain left in soft brown eyes. This is for the women who could not find the strength to write. This is for my procrastination, still asking myself why. This is for the voiceless voices, the loud cries screaming mercy on the inside. This is for clenched fists and tightened thighs. This is for the survivors, yet still victimized. This is for the women not at fault. We do not apologize. This is for the women who have considered suicide. Clear your heart and tear-filled eyes. This is to discredit the lies. Woo!
We're going to prepare to march directly after this next speaker. Can you guys hear me? We're going to be departing from this corner, so we're going to be walking out past these fences to the corner and walking up 15th Street. We're going to have people with a banner in front leading the march right after the speaker. So again, free water. If you haven't gotten a chant sheet, we still have people down the front here to offer them for you. And also I just wanted to mention again the counseling corner, which is actually behind this huge tent over here by itself. We have a number of therapists that are here to serve you, so if you're having any feelings that are coming up, please go over there and utilize that support. Tough Girls is a leadership program where they create safe and brave spaces for girls of color so that they can, 1, explore and express themselves in healthy ways, 2, create and celebrate inclusive sisterhood with cis and trans girls of color, and 3, resist race, class, gender, and sexual oppression through political education and community organizing. They envision a Philadelphia that is safe, peaceful, and united, where Black and brown sisters work in concert with each other and their allies to reclaim and repurpose public space for the holistic wellness of the community. Please welcome Mari Morales and Tough Girls.
Sorry, they have a step stool on the other side. You know what, Mari? Wait here, I'll bring it over.
Angelica, hold on for 1 second.
Raping is done. We are tired of waking up in someone else's room. We are tired of having someone else's body rubbed against ours. Who are they to think they own our personal bodies? We are young, but we know this isn't right. My body belongs to me only. There are thousands of children, women, and men whose bodies are being mistreated. We will not rest until this is stopped. We will not rest until our personal bodies are not misused. This is my body, not yours.
I come from people who made no excuses. I am a leader here and now, creating the future through the clarity of my example. Choose me because I am ready to make an end to rape culture, not later, not tomorrow, not next month, now. My outfit is not consent the way my boobs or butt is shaped. It's not consent the way I walk is not consent. All the personalities above does not mean you can pull me in your house or an alley and rape me. End rape culture today.
End rape culture today. I am tired of having to cross the street when I see a group of men or a man. I am tired of hearing these horrible rape stories from family and friends. I am tired of hearing the word rape. So it needs to end today. We are not free yet. Slavery is not here, but rape culture is. We are not free yet. Repeat after me. We are not free yet.
We are not free yet.
Freedom is without violence, racism, and rape culture and more. End rape culture. Everybody repeat after me. End rape culture.
End rape culture.
Excuse me, I have something to say. My body is not to be mistreated. My body is my house. You can't break into it. Rape stops today, and I mean it. Who are you to rape me? I am sick and tired of hearing women and young girls being raped. I will not stand by it anymore. I will not go through this anymore. I will not rest until my point is made. My body is personal and is definitely not made to be raped. So keep your hands and body to yourself.
Today I came here to end rape culture. A world without rape culture is one step to having a peaceful world. I would love to walk past men or a man and say hello, my good brothers, without them thinking you coming at them in a sexual way. And want their number to come to their house. A world without that would be great.
Y is for your sister. O is for oh so beautiful. U is for understood. N is for never give up. G is for give and support.
Come on, my sisters! Let's get free! All my African sisters! sisters, let's get free. All of my beautiful sisters, let's get free. Live free, live free, live free, live free, truly.